All right, let's take a look at this. So there's a lot of algebra going on here. So the first part A, f of g of x, what that's saying is that we're going to substitute the g function into the f function. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the g function right here. G of x is equivalent to negative 5x plus 2. I'm going to put that right there. So that's what I'm substituting into the f function right here. So I'm going to place that in for x in both of those spots right here. So let's see, that'll give me negative 2 times negative 5x. Oops, don't want to square that yet. So there we go, negative 5x plus 2 and then squared. And then plus 5 times negative 5x plus 2. Okay, the tricky part is going to be this right here. Here, you're just going to distribute, and that shouldn't be too bad. But what we have to do here is first take care of the square, and then distribute that negative 2 to our results right here. So there's a couple of different things you can do. You could break this apart and FOIL it, or if you have something like, let's say, a could be plus or minus some value b squared, that's equivalent to squaring the first term. And then if it's plus or minus, that's what's going to go right here. Depending, if it's plus, it'll be plus. If it's minus, it'll be minus. And then it'll be 2 times a b, whatever those two values are right there. And then the last one will always be a plus b squared. So if I follow that pattern, that kind of makes life a little bit easier here. So I'm still going to have my negative 2. And so my first term, I'm supposed to square this guy right here. So negative 5x times negative 5x will become positive 25x squared. So that's the first term. That's a squared. That's squaring this. Then we're going to do 2 times a times b. So remember, those are my a and b values. So 2 times negative 5x is going to be negative 10x. And then times 2 again, it's going to be a minus 20x. So we're going to get a minus 20x. And the last thing we want to do is square b, and it will always be addition on the back. So then 2 squared is 4. So that's what we get for this first part. And then, like I said, this part's not as bad because we're going to distribute that 5. So we get a minus 25x, and then we get a plus 10 right there. So we don't want to forget about that part of it. Then what we need to do now is that negative 2 gets distributed to all the parts of what we had to do here after we squared the binomial. So not just the first term, but all 3 terms here. So let's see, we're going to get negative 50x squared, then we're going to get a plus 40x, and then a minus 8. And then let's see, we do have the minus 25x, and we have a plus 10. Don't want to forget about that. And then the last thing we have to do is clean this up a little bit by combining our like terms. So let's see, we have that negative 50x squared, and then as far as x's, let's see, we've got 40, we have minus 25. So when we combine that together, that should be a positive 15, so plus 15x. And then let's see, minus 8 and a plus 10 would be a plus 2 when we combine all that. And so that's what we end up with on this composition function right here. So we're going to have negative 50x squared plus 15x plus 2. Okay, the second one we have here, this one fortunately will be a lot easier. This one won't be quite as messy as what we had here. So this time what we're doing is we're going to take the f function and substitute it into the g function. So this time we're going to take f of x, we're going to take this right here and replace f of x with that. So we're going to have g of negative 2x squared plus 5x. And then we only have to substitute it in right there. And so this really shouldn't be too bad. So let's see, we're going to have that negative 5 and then times what we're substituting in, which is negative 2x squared plus 5x. And then don't forget about the plus 2 on the back end. And then what we'll do here is we need to distribute the negative 5. And so let's see, negative times negative. Let's see, that'll be positive 10x squared. That'll become a minus 25x. And then don't distribute it to the plus 2. It just stays plus 2 right there. And that's what we end up with for our second one. So 10x squared minus 25x plus 2. All right, I hope that helps. If you need anything else, just let me know.